Welcome back to the Rugby Oaks. Today, we're going to talk about something a little close to my heart, a little concern for the Springboks. We're going to talk about the Bok 8 debate. We have it's probably our weakest part of the Bok team. That's not controversial to say. We've probably got some incredible talent, but it's not our strongest position. It's not.
It's not at the moment. But we've got, like you just said, we've got talent there that are up there in the world. But it's because we were so settled there with old Dwayne.
We had Dwayne for so long. And Jasper Visser. He's so solid that it kind of tricks you into being like, we don't need anything more dynamic. But he is. He's like completely solid and he works for our game plan. But after that, what is there? Now, he's injured at the moment. He's possibly going to be back for Italy. He's definitely going to be back for the Rugby Championship. So there's no kind of debate about the fact that he's going to be included.
Yeah.
Okay. He works to what Rassie wants to do. If we're doing a 7-1 split or 6-2 split, he's probably going to play, 50 minutes of the game and maybe bash up front and then let someone more dynamic come on. I don't think that's controversial, is it?
No, because that's his game style. That's how he plays. But we've now got a number of Oaks. Well, they've got some guys who've got caps already.
Yep.
So we'll name them, and we'll have a little chat about them. But
let's do it.
We'll start off in South Africa. We've got the very incredible and dynamic Cam Hanekom.
Yeah.
He's flipping good. He's got one cap for the Bokke against Wales, playing a hell of a well for the Bulls. Mm-hmm. Everyone's banging on about him. I'm banging on about him. He's definitely part of the debate.
So what makes him different to, I don't know, the likes of your classic Dwayne Vermeulen?
It's just as a different. He's like a Pierre Spies in a way.
Okay.
He's quick. He's good with his hands. He's all over the park. Whereas Dwayne was all over the park as well. But Dwayne was just a big bashing, strong hitting.
He's not as much of an enforcer.
No.
As Dwayne was.
He brings a different element.
He brings that little maybe Kinkowski.
Ooh, Ryan. He's been forgotten about.
He's
Kinkowski-esque.
He probably was in a time of really good Bok 8s or really solid Bok 8s that he didn't get much of it, but a little bit more rangy because Cam, I think, is almost like a hybrid between your Kinkowski and your Pierre Spies. So he's not absolutely stacked and just bashes through you, but he does have that kind of dynamic play. But you're right, he's all over the pitch. And that's a beautiful thing to watch.
All over the park. And then a player who's fairly similar to him, but a bit more bashy, Evan Roos.
Evan Roos is, I solidly believe he gets better every time
he plays in the Bok jersey.
And I think when he's in that environment, it brings the best out of him. There's some haters for him. He's a pretty boy. You kind of get that. But you get that. Like when Oaks up in the, past the Vaal are gonna hate everything about this Cape Town boy who, looks sexy on the beach in his Instagram photo. They're gonna hate all about. But if he can just control his emotions on the pitch, which he is getting better on.
Way better.
And he can play every game like it's a trial for the Springboks. Then I think he's got what it takes.
Yeah, he's had some hot and cold moments at the Stormers, but I truly think he's now in the best form he's been in a long time. Yeah. He's been playing a hell of a well, smashing, bashing. That's not the only stuff we want, but he's just been playing at a high level consistently now. Not
anyone wants to say he's not Bok quality, they can go suck eggs because just because someone in their first cap is not what they're going to be like in the 50th cap doesn't mean you throw them out.
No.
Because he's got all that potential. I think Rassie knows that. He's a supreme athlete.
Yeah.
And he's actually a very well kind of, like if you watch him being interviewed, you think about Dobbo talking about him, all those kind of things. He's really kind of just a well put together chap, and I think he's going to go far.
What you just said now, like Malcolm Marx wasn't the best hooker in his first few. I mean, he was terrible. I say terrible at throwing. Didn't have some good throws for a while, and people were like, I was one of them, like, this guy's not right.
Yeah.
Turned out to be the best hooker in the world.
Correct.
So, come on, people.
Exactly.
We're not done. We've still got more.
Oof.
So we've got a person who's been talked about a bit now, more so that his team have made it to the final. Sandra Augustus.
He's a hell of a player. He's a really solid player up in the Premiership where we live. We get to watch him a little bit more. More of a Jasper Visser type player.
Yeah.
So it's like that kind of
the hands in that semi-final.
But it's that archetypal Bok 8.
Yeah.
So it's like we're not having to like change, Cam Hanekom and Evan Roos. Like maybe you go, well, what can we do to like enhance how they play? Troki, Visser, Dwayne Vermeulen, Donny Rousseau, all that. You this is how the Boks play. Yeah. We don't need to worry about them. We just put them on the field, and that's how the Boks play. Yeah. And I think Troki, it's such a shame that he's gone to Ulster and he didn't come back to South Africa because I think that would have kind of guaranteed him getting back in the Boks team.
Yeah.
But I think if you can pick someone from overseas, like they did with Visser, like they did with Colby, like they did with a number of players now, then I think he has to be in the mix.
Has to be. We're not done. We've got Kwagga Smith, who's playing in Japan. We don't have to talk a lot about Kwagga, but we know
what he is. He's horses for courses at number 8. I still think he's better off the bench.
Yep.
So I think he's always going to be there.
We've got Sia playing 8 now for the
Yeah,
Sharks.
I think he's, as he gets older, he's kind of naturally suiting an 8 role more. It's just whether that's the best option for the Springboks. I think it might be the best option for maybe Sia, but is that the best option for the Springboks?
I don't know. He looks like he's slimmed down a bit, but you pointed out you need to be a little bit. I say that Dwayne was ginormous, but to get around the park and stuff, because you get the ball more as an 8. We've got both Chuka brothers can play 8 as well. But I think Manu would be an option as well.
Pepsi
Buthelezi. It's too many.
There's a lot of that's almost the problem. It's not like it's like when you go from SABC to DSTV. Like there's always something to watch on SABC because you got no other option. But then you go to DSTV and there's thousands of channels and you got. But that because anyone you choose, say you choose 3 of them to develop, and there's another 3 or 4 that don't get developed. It's such a gamble.
Oh no.
If you only have 3 players, you go, cool. Eggs all in one basket.
Yeah.
We'll make sure these guys are the best we can get them. Pepsi, I think, is a nice club player. Whether he's going to get more Springbok caps, I just don't know. I don't think he's dynamic enough. I'd really like to see the Chuka brothers in there. I know there's been some kind of talk about their passports and things.
Sorted now.
They're not playing
8
the best form at the minute.
Oh yeah.
But we know the form is there, so let's get them into the environment. Let's see. They're just athletes, and I think that's something to be kind of something to be said about that.
So let's say Jasper Visser,
but I wouldn't put them with the other groups.
The first group we spoke of and spoke about more in depth.
So Jasper,
Cam Hanekom,
Evan Roos, Troki,
and
Sia. Those are the 5 options for me. Sia's going to be in the squad anyway, so that's not a debate. You can play him.
It's the other 4.
So if you had to choose 2 out of those, because remember we talked about Kwagga, we know Kwagga's going to be there, but he can play multiple positions as well. So if you had to take 2 of those guys, Jasper, Cam Hanekom, Evan Roos, and Troki, and of course you could have all 4 in the squad.
Yeah. So we're just choosing 2 here. It's going to be Jasper, and I'm going to go with Cam Hanekom.
Okay. Well, I think that's probably Jasper to start, Cam Hanekom off the bench. I don't think that's too controversial.
No.
If you were now to say Jasper's not fit because he's currently injured, say he's not fit for those first 3 matches against Italy and Georgia. I think it's 1 against Georgia, 2 against Italy. We've got a little bit of flexibility because we're probably going to win then. I don't think that's controversial. So then out of those 3 remaining, because they're all rookies, really. I mean, Evan Roos has got 5 or 6 caps. Cam's got 1, and Troki obviously is 0.
Yeah.
Who would you start and who would you bench?
I would. I'd start Evan Roos.
Okay.
Because can Evan Roos play 7 as well? The reason I'm saying that is because Cam Hanekom
he can play 7.
Right. Then I'd take it backsies. I start Cam Hanekom. I'm flip-flopping here, but I want Troki's involved. I want Troki's involved because then you've got 2 different styles.
So can I
fight me?
I would start Troki.
Oh,
or Troka.
Trokkies.
Um,
Sandra Augustus.
the reason I started him is because he's a battering ram. He's a basher. He's what the reason why we'd start Jasper Visser. Same
Okay.
thing. So in a test match, you give him his cap, you smash up, and then with 30 minutes to go, you get Cam Hanekom on.
That's actually a way better option, I think.
And I love Evan Roos.
Yeah.
Big fan, but I'd take those two.
What do you think, South Africa? Who would you choose?
Chuck it in the comments, like, subscribe, and if you don't follow us yet, if you don't subscribe yet, then you're probably a Sharks fan. But you could you could click subscribe and be a cool guy just like us. And anyway, we're rambling on here. We're gonna say goodbye. Catch you on the next video. Up the Boks!